Jack Harlow is an artist who's come a long way from recording music on a Guitar Hero microphone in Louisville, Kentucky. While the artist has been around since 2015, opening for acts like Portugal the Man and Vince Staples and even releasing mixtapes, his mainstream success really kicked off with the release of his single, What's Poppin'. As of today, he has released 6 mixtapes, 2 studio albums, and has worked with artists such as Tory Lanez, Sci-Hi the Prince, and most recognizably, Lil Nas X. Today marks the release of his 2nd studio album titled Come Home, The Kids Miss You. I am pleased to report that once again, Jack Harlow brings some incredible versatility to this album. Harlow's talent for rap is incredible, and he even sneaks up on us a little bit with some singing here and there. Songs like First Class and Like a Blade of Grass offer this soft, slow, chill vibe that you can just sit down, relax, and enjoy. Songs like this make this album feel like a very comfortable listen to a first-timer who isn't familiar with hip-hop. However, that vibe makes up a grand majority of this album. And while I love a nice album that you can just vibe out and relax to, sometimes it can tend to drag, and that's the case with this album. While I do enjoy listening to this album, it's not something I would personally consider revisiting. Hell, there were a few times when listening, I began to lose interest in the album. With a few exceptions, most of the songs on here felt very similar. The features on here help break up the pace, but not by much. In fact, every song on here that has a featured artist sounds more like a song that the featured artist would have had on their album. Churchill Downs especially feels like a song that should have been on Certified Lover Boy, but didn't make the cut. But for those few exceptions of songs that work, they really work. Nail Tech was a really nice change of pace. It's the second to last song on the album, but it offers this really nice set of horns with a nice hi-hat and drum beat, and it accomplishes still that vibe energy that Harlow brings from beginning to end on here, while also making for a sort of anthem, if you will. But it's songs like this that get to my point of this album feels very repetitive. A lot of the beats on here are incredibly minimalistic. It feels very light with very little to offer listeners on their second or third listen. This is one of those albums where I think you'll pick it up once, and if you end up going back to revisit it, it's most likely for the singles that appear on the album. As a second album for this Kentucky artist, it's alright, but it's not breaking any new ground anytime soon. Come Home, The Kids Miss You gets a 2 out of 5 scratches. Harlow offers his usual brand of charisma and style and charm mixed with some clever verses from song to song, but the album feels uninspired and minimalistic, leaving me wishing we got more from this album. This is an album I think you'll listen to once, but then disregard it afterwards. Harlow is certainly a talented artist with a lot going for him, but this is one of those albums that doesn't really do it for me.